What if I told you that in 1917, tens of thousands of people stood in a muddy field, staring at the sky and claimed to see the sun dance, spin, and hurl toward the earth? Some wept, some screamed, others believed the world was ending. But here's the question: was this truly a divine miracle, or the greatest case of mass delusion? In modern history, our story begins in the small Portuguese town of Fátima during the darkest days of World War I. Europe was drowning in blood, governments were collapsing, and faith seemed like the only lifeline. In this storm of despair, three shepherd children, Lucia dos Santos and her cousins Francisco and Jacinta Marto, claimed they saw a radiant figure, a woman brighter than the sun, who introduced herself as the Virgin Mary. Month after month, the children said she returned with messages: pray, repent, and reveal the secrets of humanity's future. Locals mocked them, the government threatened them, but the children persisted. And then came the promise. On October 13, 1917, the lady would perform a miracle so great that none could deny her presence. When that day arrived, a crowd estimated at 70,000 gathered at the Cova da Iria. The rain poured, the ground turned to mud, and yet, at noon, the storm broke and something extraordinary happened. Witnesses described the sun as a blazing disk, spinning wildly in the sky, shifting colors, plunging toward the earth before retreating again. The people shouted, cried, and fell to their knees. For many, this was proof of divine intervention. For others, it was hysteria on a massive scale. But let's dig deeper. Modern scientists argue that what those thousands experienced may have been an optical illusion. Staring directly at the sun, especially after rain, can create dazzling effects, halos, refraction, retinal burn. Others suggest a psychological explanation, a crowd primed by months of expectation, religious ecstasy, and fear, all reinforcing each other's visions. Yet here's the unsettling part: not everyone saw the miracle. Some reported nothing unusual. Newspapers of the day, even hostile ones, confirmed the event was witnessed, but the accounts varied wildly. Was this selective vision, or something truly supernatural? Case Study 1. Marian apparitions across history. Fátima wasn't the first time the Virgin Mary was said to appear. From Lourdes in 1858 to Guadalupe in 1531, countless believers claimed visions, often during times of crisis. These apparitions almost always drew skepticism, fear, and mass gatherings. Could Fátima simply be another chapter in this long human need for divine signs during turmoil? Case Study 2. Prophecies of Fátima. The children spoke of three secrets. The first two, visions of hell and predictions of World War II. The third was locked away by the Vatican for decades, fueling conspiracy theories. When it was finally revealed in 2000, it described an attack on a bishop dressed in white, interpreted as the assassination attempt on Pope John Paul II. But many still believe the Vatican hid darker truths. Back in 1917, the so-called miracle of the sun had immediate consequences. Thousands of conversions, renewed fervor in the Catholic Church, but also fear, division, and suspicion. The anti-clerical Portuguese government tried to suppress the cult of Fátima, yet the movement grew unstoppable. Pilgrims poured in from around the world. And the children? Francisco and Jacinta soon died in the influenza pandemic, their deaths seen as further proof of prophecy. Lucia lived on, entering a convent, where she became the central guardian of Fátima's secrets until her death in 2005. So what truly happened that October day? Was it a miracle sent by heaven to warn humanity? Or a tragic, mesmerizing illusion that tricked the eyes and minds of thousands? The truth may never be known, but the story of Fátima remains one of the most haunting intersections of faith, fear, and mass psychology in modern history. And here is the question for you. When thousands of people claim to see the same impossible thing, do we call it divine or delusion? The Vatican's dilemma. The Vatican was forced into a corner. At first, church authorities dismissed the children's claims as fantasy. Yet after October 13, 1917, they couldn't ignore the reports of tens of thousands of witnesses. Newspapers across Europe screamed headlines about the dancing sun. For a church recovering from centuries of skepticism and scandal, this was both a blessing and a burden. Officially, The Vatican recognized the apparitions at Fátima as authentic in 1930. But here is the catch. They didn't label the solar phenomenon itself as a miracle. Instead, they called it a worthy object of belief. Why? Because even within the Church, many feared that if the miracle was accepted as fact, skeptics could later debunk it with science, damaging faith more than protecting it. The scientific counterattack scientists wasted no time offering explanations. Optical illusion. Experts argue that staring at the sun for too long can trigger retinal fatigue, making it appear to spin or change colors. With thousands staring at once, a collective illusion wasn't impossible. Meteorological theory. Some proposed that unusual atmospheric conditions, high-altitude ice crystals, or Saharan dust, could bend sunlight into strange shapes. Mass hysteria. Psychologists pointed to the charged environment. Tens of thousands gathered, desperate for proof when some shouted, "The sun is dancing." The power of suggestion spread like wildfire, yet skeptics had a problem. 2. Eyewitness accounts varied wildly. Some saw the sun zigzag, others saw it plunge toward Earth, while some reported nothing at all. How can a mass hallucination produce such diverse visions? Case Study 3. The Phoenix Lights. To understand the scale of mass sightings, let's jump to March 13, 1997, in Phoenix, Arizona. Thousands reported mysterious glowing orbs drifting across the night sky. For some, it was proof of alien visitation. For others, flares from military exercises. To this day, no universal explanation exists. The parallel? Both events gathered tens of thousands of eyewitnesses. Both split public opinion between divine mystical and natural scientific. And in both cases, belief shaped perception more than evidence. The secret of Fátima beyond the solar miracle. The three shepherd children claimed the Virgin Mary revealed three secrets. A vision of hell. Prophecies about World War II and Russia's conversion. A mysterious third secret, sealed in Vatican archives until 2000. When it was finally released, it described a vision of a bishop in white being shot. Many interpreted this as Pope John Paul II's assassination attempt in 1981. But here is the controversy. Many believe the Vatican held back, releasing only part of the secret. Did the full text predict the end of the world? Or expose corruption within the Church itself? Case Study 4. The Dancing Sun in Zimbabwe in 2011. Thousands in Harare claimed to see the sun dance and pulse. Videos went viral. Scientists again pointed to optical tricks. Yet for the faithful, it was confirmation that Fátima was not an isolated miracle, but part of a divine pattern. Faith or frenzy? So, what do we make of it? For believers, the miracle of the sun is a divine sign, witnessed by multitudes. Here's the haunting question. Did the sun truly dance that day in Fátima? Or did tens of thousands share the same illusion born of desperation, faith, and fear? What do you believe? Was this a divine wonder? Or the greatest mass delusion in history? Drop your thoughts below. Do you think science will ever explain it fully? Or is this one mystery that belongs only to faith? For skeptics, it's the largest case of mass suggestion in modern history. For historians, it's proof of how faith, fear, and social tension can shape collective memory. The Fátima children never backed down from their story. They lived, and in some cases, died, clinging to their visions. The Church cautiously embraced it, while scientists chipped away at it.